Hey, Corey with Creative Habitats. I wanted to give you a more concrete image of what is swimming around in my head with your landscape in the backyard. So I took some time, went into Pro Landscape, and created this. Let me explain to you what my ideas are with this. One of the things you mentioned, I'm just going to start over here and we'll work our way around, is the idea of expanding this patio. That's not something that has to be done right away. But if you wanted to, we've expanded the patio. I've created a walkway. This is the gravel walkway that weaves throughout your landscape. It goes into the back and then it wraps up back up over here at your patio. Another one of the main objectives you talked about was having the dry creek bed that goes right through here. Now, I have changed the direction of that, and the reason why I have done that is because it would be a shame to invest all this money in rock and have it go through your yard, almost not be visible, and be straight. Having a straight, dry creek bed, it can work, it will do the job, but it will not have nearly the same amount of eloquence as if you have it curved through your landscape, put some boulders around it, and some other supporting plants. Let's take a look at some of the plants that are in here. So these are the serviceberry. In real life, this is what I'm trying to create in that location. One of the suggestions that I had for this area was to do ferns in here. That's one of many things that you can do. An image like this. You could do hosta, you could leave it blank. There's a plethora of different options for that area. Another really beautiful part of the serviceberry is the fall color. It looks a lot like a Japanese maple. So the one of the great things about serviceberry gives you blooms in the spring, berries in the summertime that birds will feed off of, and then great fall color. Moving to the next spot, I've taken your loropetalum and I've put them at various places in the yard. Right now, it's just a hedgerow that blocks your view of what nature has provided you back here. It will have a more dramatic effect by spacing these out. And ideally, I think you said that yours don't bloom like this, but I assume they still have some type of a beautiful bloom to them. But those have been spaced throughout the yard. Also, taking your native azaleas. Ideally, over time, they're going to grow up to be closer to this and interspersing those throughout the landscape as well. My first recommendation for this location was cypress. It's an option. It has beautiful fall color, wildlife supportive, but it's not the only thing. You could always do river birch. You could do sweet bay magnolia. A lot of different options for you on that. Of course, we have the dry creek bed going through here, and I also wanted to talk about this area. So, dry creek bed, I would definitely add some boulders in there. Also, if you can just imagine, if this just went straight, it wouldn't have nearly the aesthetic appeal as it does. See how it winds through here? That's another one of the reasons why I'm trying to protect your investment and make sure that you add maximum value to your landscape by not just throwing rocks in a ditch, but having it to be more aesthetically placed throughout that ditch. The next thing I wanted to highlight, and that's in this area through here, you can of course do just grass. That would be the simple answer. But other options that are very much available out there are to create meadows. All of these are pollinators. This is bee balm, monarda. We've got black-eyed Susan through here. There's so many different plants, easy to put in seeds that would do beautifully well. If you wanted to experiment with the whole pond idea, I included this photo in there just so you have a little bit of a feel for what's in my head about that area. And of course, you could also go with a meadow feel, but mow part of it, leave part of it wild. This too is another great compromise between having a little bit more refinement around the house and yet having it nice, a nice meadow feel. Lastly, I just wanted to show you some other plants that would do really, really well in there. Plants that will allow you to interact more with the landscape. This is Peruvian daffodil, iris, Vitex, I would put this one up closer to the patio area. This is a great wildlife plant, and it also gives you a lot of shade. Adding in some Japanese maples through there would be great, as well as hydrangea through there. So that's just one of many different plants that I can imagine putting in here for you. This is maybe your rough draft. I always say that the only final draft is what actually goes in. But this is the direction that my mind is going to give you maximum value for your investment, to make sure that when you sit here, you're not just looking at a bunch of volunteers that have grown up, but a really, really beautiful space in this location. Thank you so much, Corey with Creative Habitats Landscaping.